Hi, my name's Hazel Nance. I'm going to show you what I would do with the Learning Center in my classroom for diversification. I'm going to do the rainforest, and we're going to be learning today about the different levels of the rainforest and the animals that live in the different levels. I'll start by reading this book called The Great Kapok Tree by Lynn Cherry. This book will give the students an idea of what it's like to be in the rainforest and how important the rainforest is to us. We'll activate prior knowledge that they might have by reading this book. While my students in my learning center are working with me, the other students will be creating animals to add to our bulletin board, and they'll put them in the different levels that are labeled on our bulletin board. Now, in the small group setting, what we will do, we'll start with a writing activity, and in the writing activity there are 3 different packets, and they're color-coded according to the students' levels. If they're in the pink or yellow packet, which is the packet that is for the lower level students and the ELL students, they'll do an alphabetizing activity of rainforest words. I've created some cards here, and they'll take and put those in alphabetical order and write them on a sheet of paper. For the middle layer students, they'll do a little bit of a writing activity, and they'll have 3 pictures here of animals from the rainforest, and it'll be their job to write 2 sentences about what they know about these particular animals. Hopefully they'll remember some of the things from the book that they can write about. The GT students will do this crossword puzzle that has harder vocabulary in it with definitions, and they'll have to work the crossword puzzle accordingly. Next will be we'll go into math in our rainforest, and we'll do a graph on the different animals and where they live in the rainforest. And they will use these color-coded books to find their facts. Once they find an animal, if they find it in the emergent level, they'll fill in a box with a colored pencil, and they'll use 4 different colors, one for each level. I think they'll have a lot of fun with this particular activity. Next, we'll do a flat book, and in the flat book are instructions on how to create the flat book, and they'll also have my sheet of paper, my flat book, to go by. And they'll fold a piece of paper, manila paper, lengthwise. Sometimes in elementary or lower grades we call that a hot dog fold, but as they get into the big upper grades, we try to get them to transfer that terminology. They'll fold it in half lengthwise, then they'll fold it in half, and then they'll fold it in half, and they'll have 8 sections when they're through folding. Then they'll take, and from the outside to the inside fold, they will cut, making a flap. They will label each flap with the layers of the rainforest, starting with down at the bottom, the floor, the understory, the canopy, and the emergent level. When you open the flaps, there will be a picture for each flap indicating the section of the tree that layer is in, and an animal that lives in that particular level. Now, most of my students are good artists, so I think they'll have fun drawing their own pictures, but I have some that might be a little intimidated by drawing, and so they'll get to use these pictures to cut out different pictures to go in their book. Hopefully that would only be for kids that really don't have artistic ability, because the others should be able to draw it. When they're doing this, they also can look at this booklet, which has pictures in it of an animal, identifying the animal, and it tells you what level the animal lives on. I think that'll be a help to some of them too. The final activity that we will do is on the computer, and I would have liked to have shown you the PowerPoint presentation that I made, but when I do that, it messes up the webcam, so I couldn't show the PowerPoint presentation, but it's set up with the student's name, and they click on that name, and it takes them to an assessment that is for their ability. They will select their answer accordingly. On the GT and regular level kids, it will be a little more complicated with words. On my lower level and my ELL students, it'll have pictures that they can work from, and they'll pick the picture. We'll start with the lower levels and the ELL students. They'll pick the picture, and on the paper they'll circle the picture that they originally pick. Then, once they've done that, they'll be able to go in and determine on the PowerPoint presentation whether their answer is correct or not. If they've picked the right one, it'll go, yay, you've selected the right one. If not, it will take them back to the main page, or to the main question. There are only 3 questions there, and I think that'll simplify it for those particular ability kids. My GT kids and my regular level kids will have questions with a series of answers that are more about the layers, and they'll have to, again, circle the one that they think is correct. But when they click on their name, it will take them to that level test, and they will get to find out whether they're right or wrong right away. But they can't change, neither group can change their answer on their test. Well, that concludes my differentiation teaching, and I hope that it really helps to know how I will be teaching this, and I really look forward to getting the opportunity to teach this in a classroom. Thank you.